Hello everyone, I'm Caroline and today we're going to be making some tags for our journals. Now I've got them here. I'm not going to show you too closely, but just a little sneak peek at what's coming up in the video, from extremely simple tags to make to quite pretty ones that are not that difficult, but they look much more impressive. Look at that one. And look at this one. Dead simple to make. We're also going to make some belly bands, and at the end of the video is some bonus content if you stick right to the end, and I'll be showing you how to make something to fit behind this belly band. Right, by the powers of time travel, we shall now go right back to before I made these tags and this belly band and my bonus content, and start right at the beginning, seeing just how easy it is to make tags. Really, anybody can make tags that look impressive, and if you're rushed and you haven't got time, then there are some simple ideas here that you can get tags made in no time. So come on, let's travel back in time and make some tags and belly bands. So this is the most simple way of making a tag, other than buying one ready-made completely, which you can do on Etsy. There's nothing wrong with that. But this one is from, I think I got this one from What. You can get them in Hobbycraft, but I think they were cheaper in What, and I'm always looking for a bargain. So you can get your tag, and all you need to do is to stick a few embellishments on, and you've got something that looks quite impressive. So I've been looking at my stock and things I have on the table. I've got this little bit of vintage newspaper from France. So I think that would look really nice on there. So I'm going to, how much of it should we put on? I think we'll go that much. And we'll take that little bit off there. If you're going to ink, or just for a nicer look, always remember the bit you're going to throw away, tear upwards. Now I'm going to ink this. I've had somebody say to me, why do you ink things? Well, there are a few reasons. If you ink it, it makes it look like aged paper, and if you've seen aged paper, it really does have this effect on the outside. Don't know if it's dust or what, but the outside tends to get dirtier. It also clears up, if you're using something like printables, it takes that white edge away where you've torn it, if you're using a vintage printable, so it doesn't look so stark. And also, because it does this. I love the noise, and I find it so therapeutic. I could spend hours just inking away. So now we're going to glue that onto the tag, sticking out a little bit there. Let's pull that off, like that. Now we're going to glue that on. It won't take a lot of glue because it's very thin. These, you're not going to see how thin it is on there, but the older newspapers tended to be really thin, and they're now very fragile too. So I'm not over gluing it, just a little bit like that. And then stick it on there, and already we're starting to have a nice effect on this tag. Right, I've got some, I like the mushrooms. I've got, what have I got here? I've got flowers, butterflies. I think they're going to look quite nice, but is it a little bit over the top with the flowers as well? No, I like them, so I'm going to stick both of those on. A bit of glue. Just a minute, I wanted to put the flowers first, didn't I? Because they're on the bottom. Try to get some glue on all the sticky out bits, because otherwise, if you're going to put them into pockets, they will get caught on the way in. So we'll put that way. And then we'll put our little mushroom there. Oh yes, very sweet. Straighten that up a bit. Don't want a wonky mushroom. What is the world come into? Now we need something at the top, so I've got some lace here. Now if you put lace at the bottom there, and you are going to stick it into a pocket, if I get this piece of paper here, as you're putting it in, it is really going to mess up the ends of your lace. But it doesn't mean you can't put any on, so I'm going to put some lace along the top there. Why not? So we chop it there. I haven't brought my fabric scissors in, so there's no chance of me accidentally using it on paper, but it's also difficult because I'm using my blunt paper scissors on my fabric, so I could end up chewing my way through things. This one naturally curves, but be a bit firm with it. Show who's boss. This one I'm using tacky glue, which means it gets a grip pretty quickly. If you were using something like PVA, this wouldn't stay in place. It'd keep wandering around, going back into a curve. Right, here we go. Let's chew the ends of my lace. There. Oh, that wasn't too bad, was it? And this one. And there we go. We got that there. Now, I could do with something brightening this up down this end. What should we do? I did have a butterfly. Let's have a look. Oh, I like that. I know some people might think that's a little bit over the top, putting a big butterfly there. I don't think I've got a smaller one. Have a look through my bits and pieces. I've got this little... Oh, that might be good. Let's cut that out and give it a go. Remember, when you're journaling, it's all a process. It's all a journey. Don't think, oh, that wasn't what I planned, so it's not very good. That's the way it goes with journaling. You start doing one thing and you completely change your mind. And the thing you come up with then is better. I don't know if that's big enough, is it? No, I think I need something with a bit more pizzazz. So we go for the big one. Oh, why not? So we should put him under the lace. Over the lace. I like over the lace. I'll put him over the lace. Oop. Very good strength on the lid. It's not going to fall off accidentally. It's quite a tug. Right, so no, we should have really decided before we did this which angle would be best, shouldn't we? We go this way. I like it that way, and I like him sticking up over the top of the lace a little bit too. Oh no, he's hanging off. Move him along, move along, move along. There we go. There we go. So that is, if I show you that closely, a really quick, really simple tag. And I'll tell you what we'll do, just because I like to do it. We'll ink around the edges too and over the lace a little bit, which will age that. And there you've got yourself a pretty tag. Now you may decide that you want to have this that somebody can write on the back. So your options are then to either stick some writing paper on the back, or like I have here, a postcard. And it's got some lines on it, I'm not quite sure why, but I could always cut that off and pop it on. So let's do that. I'll use my paper cutter because you know me, I'm useless at cutting straight lines. Why is that? There we go, put that in there. And, oh, forgotten how big we need it. I don't like measuring either, so I tend to eyeball most things. My husband's very particular. Always measure twice, cut once. We'll give that a try. It doesn't always work. There we are. We shall glue that on there. No, wrong side, wrong side. Turn it over. I'm feeling flustered this morning because it has taken me almost an hour to get all my things that I wanted. I had to sort out what things I thought I'd need, bring them in, and then they're demolishing a building. About 200 yards away, but the noise. So if it does start again, I will apologise, but at the moment all is quiet. So now if somebody wants to, they can write their notes on the back of this tag. It's a really nice looking vintagey tag, and it was so quick. What took me most time was just choosing what was going on. There are other methods to making simple tags. Let's have a look at another one. There's this. It was on a paper and it was printed as a tag. There's something pretty on the other side as a tag too. And you just follow the lines. Chop. 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 And you've got a tag. I've got my punch. I'll use my crocodile. I only brought the one punch in. I know this is a bit overkill for one little hole. I can never remember which one does which. Furthest back there. Stick a hole in it. There we go, we've got a tag. Now, somebody said to me, do you always use brown? No, not necessarily when I'm inking. So I thought today I'd start my new red ink pad, just to go completely different from brown. Got a new pad on this. Somebody kindly bought me 2 of these in a pack with lots of different pads on the end. So I'll get some red on there. And this time I'm going to ink it with red because, look at that. I think that looks really homely and vintagey. If you've got the patience, round and round is better than blub 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 because it makes it a little bit more well, I don't know if natural's the word. You wouldn't naturally get red staining on the end of something. A little bit up there. And I haven't got a pot for this one. Right, well, organise myself. Easier said than done. And there, you've got a tag. Now, if you want to say, well, it's not finished, then you can just take a little piece of string. How long? Well, how long's a piece of string? And then you pop it through the loop end through. Or you may not know how to do this, so I'll show you. Fold it in half, pop the loop through, like that. Bring the loop around, and then these two ends here, which are better if they're even, pop them through there, through the loop. So you put your loop through your hole and your lines through your loop. You've got yourself a tag. Easy as that. So that's easy tag number 2. Easy tag number 3. This is going to take no time at all. You could just find out roughly where the middle is, or measure it if you're concerned about making it dead centre. Most people are. I'm a little bit shabby. And there, well, we'll put a little bit of string on too, put some white on this time. Fold it in half, poke it through the hole, open up the loop and put the long bits through the loop. Oh, this is very stiff for making this with. There we go. Another simple tag. But we're going to get more difficult than that, and I'm sure you're going to manage very easily to make things much more complex than this. I've got this little floppy bit. It's not quite paper, but it's quite floppy. It's not proper card. So it's going to be awkward perhaps for a tag because it's got no integrity when you're pushing it in and out of a little pocket. But there's an easy way around that. I have here, oh, I've got a piece of dictionary, but I think this is in, let's check, is this in French? Every appointment, no, it's English, so I'll use this little bit of dictionary. So you get your piece of paper. I'm going to use glue stick for this. Make sure you get to the edges, all along the middle. Oops, this glue stick's falling apart. I think it's because it's so warm indoors today. I put the heating on this morning and forgot to turn it off, and now it's absolutely melting. As usual, make sure there's nothing you don't want, something that's unsuitable on the back of the piece of paper you're going to use. And then, and I'm not going to go into the corner, even though that would seem to save paper, because I want it a little bit more evenly balanced rather than a big white blodge on. So you've glued that on. Get your scissors. Chop around the edges. If you've got a pinking shears that you use for your paper, or you've got one of those jaggedy edged scissors that are designed for it, you could use those, but again, I don't like to use those because they can get snagged up in your pockets. I'll cut around there. Oops. Why is this scissors not cutting? There we go, did it. So you've got yourself a piece of thicker card. You can actually pile 3 or 4 pieces of just dictionary paper or rubbish paper, whatever, with your prettiest papers on the outside, and that will give you a nice thick background for a tag. So that is the basis of a tag, but now let's step this up. So we're going to cut off the corners. There. Now you haven't got to, but I always like to reverse that over this side and cut it again because I'm useless at trying to get those corners even. And you'd be surprised how difficult it is. It only thinks, oh, it's only snipping the corners off. It's very difficult to get it all lined up. There we go. And now we're going to punch a hole in the top again. And just round off the corners. So there you have a nice tag with rounded corners. But we can do more than that. So, I've got this really old lace here. That I think is going to look fabulous on the bottom there, but we'll need some sort of embellishment as well. So what have we got here on the embellishment front? Not a lot, because it's all in the other room. I thought I would be so efficient and bring everything I needed, and then now I'm in here. It's not quite everything I want. Oh, now that's pretty. Right, so I'm going to not overcut this, but I'm going to cut the edge, because if I cut it before I glue it on, just my luck, I'll be a tiny bit too short. So I always give it a tiny bit too much. Yes, that's going to look lovely like that. Unfortunately, this has been stretched, that end, so it's a little bit higher than it should be. Right, get some glue on there. Use my tacky glue again. I think most people use fabric tack, but I haven't got any of that, and I don't miss it because I find this glue is pretty good. I'm going to put some up there because I can't get it onto the lace, and a little bit in the middle. If you put in lace or something like that, just give that a rub so it's not so thick, less bludges coming through. Right, there's that way up, and I would, if this was anything else, have that little bit of lace hanging over the edge because it's so pretty, but on a tag it's going to get fouled up, so it's going like that. We need a little bit of glue up there, don't we? Yeah. Rub it in. There you go. I'm going to get my fabric scissors. Hand them back. Chop off the lace. Being very careful not to chop the paper, because otherwise you'll ruin your fabric scissors. Now I'm going to stick this on, but I'm going to ink the edges on that, and with brown, to make it stand out a little bit. I think it'll be better. No. It's difficult because it's a piece cut out of a magazine, so it's got no integrity of its own. It's a bit floppy. There we go. Yes, that's going to be lovely. I'm going to use this again because it's sticking it to fabric. And so I don't think a glue stick will cut it. And I don't want to use PVA glue because it's water based. It will tend to make the paper all ripple up. On there with the little bird. Oh yes, I'm liking this. And I had no idea what I was going to make before I started. But then you fiddle around with the different things you've got and you come up with something like that. Right, for the tag for this one, I'm going to use this piece of cotton fabric that I've torn into a strip. It's nothing exciting. Looks quite boring and crinkled, but if you put it in here, just the one end, tie a knot in it. One tag. Shall we put a little embellishment on there? I think we could do with something. What do you think? Let's have a look what we've got. Ooh, an advert for carbolic acid. That's just not going to work, is it? Right. Searching through. No, there's not enough contrast. If you don't have contrast, people can't see the beautiful things you do. Oh yes, I like that. Yep, that's going to be the one. Check the height. Do we want it there? Or do we want it higher? Well, I almost feel like I should put it there, but I fancy putting it higher. And one thing I've noticed is you've got to get a grip sometimes when you're journaling. I'm journaling away and I realise I've spent 5 minutes trying to decide where to put one tiny little bit of paper. And I think, yes, I can see the reason why, but sometimes you've got to say, just stick it on. Just go for it. Because if you like it, sticking the paper on 5 different ways and you don't know which way to go for, then anyone will do. I do tend to obsess over these things. Are you the same? Do you tend to get carried away? I always keep losing my scissors. I'll use this one because I can't find my fabric one. How ridiculous is that? I've got a tiny little desk here and I can't find my fabric scissors. It's its own worst enemy though, a tiny little desk, because there's no room for anything, so things get 3-4 deep in the end. My new desk is huge, I can't wait. But to give you an example, my cutting mat is an A1. A little bit more glue there. So you can just imagine how big my workspace is. Now, I've got my sewing machine on the table, and I've got some storage. So all in all, it's going to be brilliant. I really can't wait. So there we have another tag. And that was really easy, wasn't it? Let's try something different. So I'm going to use this paper to make a tag, and we'll cut it in half. My super duper cut it in half machine. Well, I think we'll go less than half. Now this all depends on your pocket size. If you've got a really wide pocket, you can make a really wide tag. If you haven't, you'll need to make a narrower tag. Right, on this one, I'm going to put a person. Got these people here. Who should we put? We'll put that nice smiley chap there. He looks friendly. What do you think of him? Hello. Let's cut out one of these tickets, I think. We've got a ruffled edge on the one end, but I'm not cutting that out. It'll be straight. There and there. So we'll put that. Is it going to fit? Wouldn't it be lovely if that was a perfect fit? And the right way up. Oh yes, look at that. So we'll make this a little bit less of a fancy-dancy one. We'll make this a little bit more sensible. Well, I don't know if sensible is the word. And we'll... Oh, I've just spotted a long ticket. I could always put a long ticket there. Chop it a little bit, obviously. And then put him on there. Like that. Almost like it fits his rail pass or something. Right, so we'll need to chop a little bit off. Like that. We need to chop a little bit more. Yep, see, this is the problem when you eyeball things. You get it wrong. There we go, let's have a look. Yep, that fits perfectly. So glue stick, I think, it's quicker. Oh yes, this glue stick is really struggling in this hot room. A little bit of paper. Spread it with that. There we go. And pop it on. Right to the edge, I think. There we go. Again, I could think, oh, do I pop it right to the edge? Do I want to leave a bit of space? It'll be fine right to the edge. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to go for it. The rest of that off on the back of him. I think I'll probably need a little bit more too. Yep. A little bit of glue. You been doing any crafting today? You crafting along with me? You making something? Let me know what you're doing while you're watching. If you're doing anything, you may just be sitting down having a cuppa. There we go, put our man there. But that is not quite a tag, is it? There's something missing. You need something to pull the tag in and out. That's not a problem. Got this piece of paper here. I'm going to cut there and there. Take the little end off there. And then fold that over like that. Now you haven't got to panic if that doesn't line up quite, because you're not going to see that. Pop a little bit of glue on around the edges there, a bit in the middle, it's going to cover the number, but never mind. Make it a bit more central. Definitely not. Squeeze it together, and now you can't tell that that isn't the same height as that. You've got something to pull the tag in and out of. And we did say we were going to give him, I think we'll put it that way, or should we put it over his face? That way, like that, I think. There we go, a little bit along there. Glue. And put that on there. I think what we could do with this tag as well, we put a little number on there. And I got this stamper here that I put some numbers on. It's like a, oh, I'm not sure. We used to call them John Bull stamping kits when I was younger. But this isn't John Bull, it's some other make. And let's check it on a piece of paper. On the back of there. Yep, that's going to work well, so I'll go there. And there we go, we've got a little bit of stamping on there as well. So they've got another easy tag. Shall we round this one? Yeah, I think we'll round this one as well. I think it'll look more finished, but also I love doing that. another time. I'll tell you what, just because we can, we'll ink the edges of this one too. I just love that floppy noise. I'm going to make an ASMR video, I think, one day. And I'll do some crafting. I won't talk at all. You can just hear all the paper noises. There you go. Another tag. We're flying away here. Right, I don't want to spend too long today. I'm thinking of making 30-minute videos rather than 60. What do you think? Do you prefer a long video? I do. I like a video that you can put on, forget about while you're crafting, and it just plays away, rather than something short that keeps ending and then you've got to find another one. But on the other hand, some people haven't got an hour. So let me know what you think. Would you rather have short videos or long videos? Now this is a card I made. It's a piece of cardboard off a cereal box or something, and a picture from a gardening magazine that I stuck on both sides. And I'll show you how to make a nice easy tag for this too. And for this you'll need a circular punch, or if you're very good at cutting circles, you can use circles, or you can cut yourself squares. It's up to you. See what you've got and what you can use. I've got some tassels here, so I'm going to open them up because I want the cardboard. Take them out of the pack and then push those up there, and I'm going to take some of this cardboard to use for my tag because it's such a pretty pattern. So, two circles like that, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the square one, only we're going to do it with these circles. So a bit of glue, a nice strong tacky glue for this one. There and there, although it's on the one side, you're sticking this to the back of the tag, so you will need glue on both. And pick it up, otherwise you'll stick it to your table. Put it where you want it, about there I think. And then get the other one and match it up on the back. It'll take a few seconds to be steady where it is, which is good because I'm going to move it a little bit. There. And you've got yourself another pull tab. So let's embellish this one. I know, first of all we'll take the corners off. We won't round the top ones just because I forgot before I put the tag on. So we got this here. Let's stick some embellishment on there. If we put that on there, so I'm going to stick some glue on the back. Like that. This is nothing technical, I'm just making this really quickly. Just find some little scraps you've got, it's just a little scrap, pop it on at a jaunty angle. I do love a jaunty angle. Then chop off the ends. There. And there. And now we could do with sticking something on the front, couldn't we? This butterfly is still too big. Aha. Shall I put that on? That's very pretty. Oops, I'm sticking to all my bits of fabric. Make sure to stick the bottom end really well because it's going in and out of a pocket possibly, and you don't want it jamming. The top you haven't got to be so fussy over. And there we have another one. Now on the back you could decorate it, or you can put a little bit of paper. I know what I can do. I've got some more of this. My postcard. So let's check the width. About there, we'll cut it again. There-ish. Chomp it. Turn that over. Right, we'll need to cut a little bit further down too. Oh, that's going to be difficult because these lines are not straight. I'll use my cutter off camera because you can use your imagination. There we go, that's cut to the right size. Again, you can see it is a little bit neater if you go round and round, but you don't get the flicky sound. I like the flicky sound, like that. Right, we'll put some of this tacky glue on again, like that, because it's a postcard and the front is really shiny. So it's going to need a little bit of extra oomph to stick to the card. Pop it in there. Now, sorry if you can hear a noise. Somebody's just gone in the shower and my office is right next door to the bathroom. So there we go, we've got another one. That was really simple again, wasn't it? It looks really impressive, but it's so simple. At some point I'll do some more advanced tags, but for now I just wanted to get you started on some simple ones. Don't forget to stay till the end because there is a little bonus content where I am going to make something that I haven't mentioned in the title, and it is really simple, really effective, and you can use it with a belly band. Now I'll show you a belly band. This, for anybody who used to watch Blue Peter as a child, is one I made earlier. You'll remember that saying. And we're going to make this sort of thing. Now, if I put this in the journal, this is the journal I've been working on. It doesn't look very good on green, does it? Where's a red page? There we go, it's a nice red page. We'll go on purple. Oh, I like it on purple. So you're wanting just a strip to go down your page, either in the centre or to the side. And then, if you've got something like a tab, which doesn't really go, you can slide it in there. But I'm going to show you something else that you can pop under the belly band. There are several different options, but I'll show you a really quick, easy one. But first, let's make some belly bands. They're so simple to make. So I'm going to use this for the first one. It's a little bit of fabric, nothing special. It was torn off the inside of a dress that was falling apart. And I want a piece of paper to go on this because it's a little bit floppy. Clear off some of my rubbish, and we're just going to cut this piece of paper 1 inch wide. Now you can make wider belly bands. Let's check how wide this is. It is about 2 inches, so I'll make this 1 1/4 inches, I think, which is there. Chop it up. I'm having to put my paper cutter behind me now because I got such a mess. It's a shame there's a little stain on there. It has been washed, it's just that that's a little bit of rust. I'll make a wider piece, I think, and then I can cover the rest. There we go, perfect. So we're going to stick some glue all the way down the back of this. Again, tacky glue, because it's going paper to fabric, and I don't want too much spludging through. I do love PVA glue, it's so versatile, but when you're using fabric, I always used to use it, but it does leave marks coming through. So I've given it up now. I've progressed on to, somebody gave me this tacky glue in some Happy Mail, and I'm definitely a convert. Aleene's tacky glue, if anybody's wondering. Right, now we're going to try, look at this, I've got bits everywhere. We're going to try to glue this onto here without making too much of a mess and covering that little bit of rust. Aha, I've got another idea. What I'll do is I'll cut this down along the paper edge. I can't use my paper scissors because this is very flimsy fabric, so I will use these and be very careful not to cut the paper. Now I'm going to get some lace. Let's really go for this and make it a big belly band with lots of interest going on. So I'm going to put that there on the paper. Should I do some lighter lace? I've got more of this. Oh, that's prettier, isn't it? But I don't want everything pretty. I'm trying to do a bit of everything. Oh yes, that's the one. That's the one. Right, more tacky glue. I'm putting it near this end, but it doesn't need to come completely to the edge where the frilly bits are, because they look quite nice, just all flying in the wind. Not they fly very far in the wind, but you know what I mean. Put that there. Glue it down. Try and cover the edge. Looking a bit messy there, isn't it? Over there a bit. Right, Right, so there we have the beginnings, and we're nearly there, of a belly band. And you can use anything. You can use several strips. I could have used, if you wanted to, you could stick the brown on top of there as well. And really build this up and make it pretty. Isn't that plastic bag? Where's that big butterfly? The one I keep trying to put on things and it's not working. Oh, yes, yes. We could put that butterfly at an angle because that's not an issue with the belly band. So I'm going to stick that on there because I want to use my butterfly. And pop it on like that. Right. Now, how is this going to go into the journal? Let's look for the page we're going to use. Got our green page, so we can put it on there. Yes, that's where that's going. So I could put it to the side there, but I want it in the middle because I want to be able to slip something underneath. Right, so now, so that's what we're looking for. There we get ourselves some tacky glue and just draw a line along the top and a line along the bottom. Again, this is fabric you're sticking to paper, so this is probably the best sort of glue. Any glue will do that's a tacky glue. But you want something with a bit of oomph. And there you have a belly band. It was that simple. And there's a little gap under this. Now what are we going to do with this belly band? As I said, you can put a tag under it, there, or you could put something else under there. What could that something else be? Let's find out. Let's make something quick and easy that will go really well underneath your belly band. Alright, so we're going to make something to fit in the belly band. And we're going to make a little notepad. Now, I've cut myself some 3x5" paper here as the back for this notepad. Now this is going to be really simple. Don't run away. There's no binding. It's so simple. But this is a little bit floppy. So to strengthen it up, I've got this little bit of music here. So I'm just going to get my glue stick and stick the piece of paper to this back. And again, it makes a real difference with even just one extra sheet of width on it for how much more integrity it has, how much more strength and anti-flopping properties. So we stick that about there. And then we'll cut around it. And we've got ourselves something a little bit more firm than that piece of... It wasn't really thin paper, but it certainly couldn't be classed as card. And I wanted it to be a bit more cardstockish. There we go, turn that around there. Now, I am going to ink in the edge of this because I've used some oldish looking papers to make this. But you could just leave it uninked. There is definitely no reason why you need to ink anything. You ink it if you want to. I don't ink it if you don't want to. Right, just a little bit of ink on that side. You don't need much. Like that. And a little bit more on the inside. Age that a bit. I didn't dye any music sheets. I need to dye some of these with coffee at some point. And just give them a little bit of a bludge. There we go. I do love a good bludge. Right, so these are all bits of paper that I can throw away. And I'll show you what paper I got to make as sheets for people to write on. So I've got, oops, where's my map sheet gone? I put that in just out of interest, which is a bit of a map. And some coffee dyed paper and some brown craft paper. So I think for the outside we'll use, I'll probably use the map. So I want map, brown, coffee dyed, brown, coffee dyed. Right, so line up your pieces with your backing piece of card. And then get a stapler. And you just need 1 if you're brave, 2 if you're a bit more cautious, staples along the top. And you've got yourself the beginnings of a little pad to put in your belly band. How pretty is that? But they're these ugly staples, so we need to get rid of those. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this. I've got glue everywhere. This video won't seem to have gone on so long for you, but for me it's been a nightmare. I've had some family disasters going on. I've had to run to and fro from my office to my studio to get bits and pieces. So I've been at it for hours, and it'll all fly by in no time on your end. So there we go, we'll stick a little bit of trim there and trim the trim. Like that. You could, if you wanted to, round off the corners of this book all the way along, but I'm not going to. And we could do with something else, a little bit of something. Well, that's a little bit wonky. Let's give that a chop there. We need to lift this up a little. What about some... Oh yes, they're nice. Bunch of flowers. Are we going to ink those? Of course we're going to ink them. Any excuse. Like that. You could put another butterfly on, but I don't think that's going to work because we've already got a butterfly on the band. So now this just needs sticking on. We'll use some glue stick, I think. Clean on this rather than on the tablecloth because I've got to go right to the edges. I don't want any of these bits coming up and getting caught when they get slipped into the belly band. Like that. And then stick it on the front. Preferably the right way up. There. Oh, should we ink the edges of this sheet? Why not? Low against it. They don't charge anymore, so go for a little bit more inking around the edge there. I think that's going to add a little bit of a more vintagey look to the whole thing. Now I could go over the top here and put a little bit of lace on the bottom too. What do you think? Am I going over the top? I don't know. I like it, see. I can put it down there on the edge. Oh yes, I'm going for it. On the edge of my lace. There we go. If you're not a lace person, then please look the other way because you could find this offensive. It's going to be very lacy. Run along there like that. Again, a fair bit of wood because this is quite a thick piece I'm sticking on. And I want it to hold it straight. Oh, go along like that. Oops, my builder man is back. He was so quiet for so long. Now he's demolishing his building again. But we're nearly finished. There we go. And I'll use my fabric scissors for this. There. And there. And there you have a little bonus item. You've got a notepad. And you can stick any papers in these. You can make them quite modern papers. You can just use them all as like a way of displaying images, not have any space for writing on it. Just have it as a pretty booklet. That is for notes. I know what I can do. I can make a stamp that says notes. Right, back in a minute. Right, I got my stamper off camera. It took me ages to get the words notepad on, and then I did it backwards, which said that. That was wrong. And then I realised when I put it the right way round that my D was actually a Q. So I finally got it to say notepad. I was going to say notes, but I haven't got an S. I know. So unorganised. So now I'll just tear that off this piece of paper. I was going to stamp it straight onto the pad, but I'm glad I didn't now. One, because it would have ruined it. And two, because I think this will stand out nicer. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get it rough around this edge because it's a little bit close to the top. But I'm sure we'll manage it. Let's have a look. I'll use this one. This one's more central. That's better. Again, the bit I'm throwing away, I'm ripping upwards so that it's easier to ink and looks a little bit more special. We'll use the word special, can't think what. There we go. It's around the outside there. And then we put that. Looks spelt wrong, doesn't it? It isn't, it just looks it. And we'll use this poor melting glue stick to stick that on. There. Now, wasn't that easy? And if you followed along, if you give it a try, it's as simple as that, and then you've got yourself a lovely little notepad, and now we pop it in the belly band. And then when somebody is going through their journal, and if they want to take something out with them to collect notes, they can take this out, fill in their notes, and then bring it back home, pop it in the belly band. You can put it at an angle so people can see it a little bit more, so they can see how decorated it is. And here's another one I made. Now on this, I've got some paper here, you can just tear it off roughly, French this is, and snap it off there too. Put that there at an angle, and then I could put a little person on there. Something as simple as that, or you can really fancy it up and make it layer after layer of embellishments. Or you can just leave it simple, or write notes by hand on the front. But that is how easy it is to make a belly band and a bonus little notepad. Let me know if you try any of these. I love hearing. Some of you have been inspired to actually make your own journals, to make different pockets to the ones you usually make. I'm really enjoying reading all your comments, and I'd love to know if you try this. So apologies for any noise from the man demolishing a building across the road, and also apologies that I've had to, this may be a bit disjointed, I had to keep rushing back to my studio to get bits I'd forgotten. So I now have to put it all back. Oh, my office is a terrible mess. I'm going to sort it. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up, and it would be great if you could subscribe, and that way you'll get to see all the other additional journaling things I do, plus my art, plus hauls and other bits and pieces that we do. It's always something interesting coming up on one of my videos, so don't miss out. I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, craft every day and have fun. Bye!